Hi, and welcome to week one's lecture. In this lecture we're going to cover the Earth's natural resources, some of the ones that we are using, and we're using them at rates that the Earth can't replenish them, so we call them unsustainable rates. Some of the topics that we're going to cover in this class are water. Water is not only used for drinking, but it's also used for producing and manufacturing, used for irrigation of crops, and so many other uses. And water is the most important resource in the world, and it is currently we're pulling out of the ground 30% more water than can actually be replenished by rainfall. So we're going to look at ways that we can evaluate how much water we're using, how we're using it, is it sustainable or not, and what we can do to mitigate the factors so that we can use it at a sustainable rate. One of the other big topics that we're going to cover in this class is soil degradation. And soil is important because that's where we get our crops from. That is where we have the forests and the trees. That's where animals graze. So it is really important on multiple aspects that we look at the fact that we need to have soils that can be replenished and renewed every year. The population is expected to be 9 billion people in the year 2050 according to the World Bank, and we're going to need about 50% more food than we're currently producing at that point to be able to feed everybody. So soil is one thing that we're going to look at in depth. We're going to look at energy resources. The three that we're using now heavily are coal, natural gas, and oil. And in the burning of all of these, we release what are called greenhouse gases. And greenhouse gases are, there are four major ones. The first one is air vapor. The second one is carbon dioxide. The third one is methane. And the fourth one is ozone. And what happens is when the sun sends its radiation down to the earth, the energy and the light waves come in and they pass through the earth to the earth's surface. And when we produce these greenhouse gases, they go into the atmosphere, and rather than letting the majority of the infrared radiation from the sun go back out into space, they actually trap it in the lower layers of the atmosphere. So the energy that's coming in, more of it is actually being kept here. And that's what we call the greenhouse effect. Most of this studies that have been done are relating the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, climate change, to global warming. And if it keeps more heat in between the atmosphere and the Earth's surface, then the temperature is going to rise at the Earth's surface. One of your assignments this week and one of your other lectures is about the scientific method. Going to take the data for temperature, greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and many other factors, and we're going to try and bring all of that together so that we can look at what climate change really is and what kinds of factors that we have that will cause climate change, and then we're going to take that and we're going to bring it into how can we mitigate these factors so that we can stabilize climate change. Okay, I hope week one is going to be great. Thanks.